Aha.
Welcome
Okay.
to the conclusion of IndieWebCamp Online, the great 2014 experiment, which will conclude with the ceremonial demonstrating of what we just spent the last couple of hours fiddling with.
And so who would like to start? Any volunteers here? Okay, John, go for it.
What I did, I'll try to do, like, how do I do this ScreenShow thing?
There's a green thing in the left if you go to the left of the bar, and that will allow you to present your screen.
Yeah. Now, if I do that, I will get. Okay, let's see the whole, let's see this one. Start screen share, and now, yeah, I love this one. And what we have here is you can see it also on my page, and maybe I'll just put the URL now in the chat as we speak. Here it is. You can see some skeleton of something that formats the web mentions of the wiki. And now I go here and I write 2014, for example, and I get other things. And then when I write /online, yeah, I have an avatar. I lost my avatar. And they said, oh, what kind of demo is that? So this is it. But the important thing happens in the HTML. We have here, why does it do that? This is a script and stash script. I don't know if you know those things, but it goes on all links, or for example here, if there is an offer, then you do something, and if there is not an offer, you do something else. So we can easily change this, and I don't know, what do we do to make things visible? Let's go to after the name and do an exclamation mark. And now we all have an exclamation mark, whatever it is. So you can take this and all the things that David was talking about, different paradigms to show the HTML, JavaScript, and also markup, that I'm not very good at, all the microformats and things, but to give this more semantics. And we can even do something like a selector that embeds various skins that people have contributed to the wiki. And you can see the web mentions the various paradigms and decide which is best. That's more or less what I did. Feel free to fork it. Now what do I do? I go back. How do I
There's a stop.
unscreenshot myself?
There's a stop button right
Stop.
there.
Yeah, here I am. So that's all, folks.
Cool. Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, I almost forgot. I'm not doing well running the board today.
Okay. Who's next? I can go if nobody else wants to.
I vote for IndieWebCamp.
Dora? Come on.
Nothing to share?
Yeah. Guess not.
She looks content. Where are my criminals?
She's purring loudly.
So I guess let's see. That's 2 down.
Okay, I guess I'll go.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Screen share. That should be the window. Okay, yeah. So, in my editing, normally I was saying when I do an edit, if I pull up like my site and I go to edit a post, what it does is cheats and uses an ID from the database. And if I used a URL before, it would just pull down by a curl. But now, if we actually copy link address, if you go to /edit mark URL equals something, it should pull all the fields, getting slug, title correctly, and this is actually in the source straight from the database, not from just curling. So if I wasn't using HTML, it would just pull that down, whatever format they're using, and it's going through the micropub endpoint. Kind of hard to show that, but yep, I updated it so it's all pulling straight from micropub endpoint with URL. I would have liked to get a lot more done, but alas, there's never enough time. And
Do
that's...
you plan to have a bookmarklet?
What's that?
Do you plan to have a bookmarklet for this?
A bookmarklet? Well, right now, so there's a number of different ways people do it. Right now, on my page, hold on, let me switch back to presenting. I can show you. Turn around. Just screen share that window again. So for editing, every one of my posts actually has, when I'm logged in as admin, I can edit from just a little icon that shows up in the admin interface. That pops up a new window so you don't see it. But it would edit that way. If anyone logs into my site who is not me, then on their comments, if I pull in one of their comments, they actually will get a edit link right below there as well. I think I can almost show this, if I can find a post I've commented on. But I don't think there's any that I've, maybe this one. No, I don't have the edit links on mine. But yeah, it would be either through my system, kind of uses this through what we call MP config, so it's getting the list of where I can edit and share to and things like that from my micropub endpoint. I also have it set up so there's a custom protocol handler that can tell whatever site I'm on what micropub clients I use, so they can give the URL, give me the URL back correctly.
Yeah.
But yeah. We're getting really bad feedback from you.
You'll be able to mute it just unless you have something to say. Like that. So unless you have something to say, because we're getting feedback, we'll just keep it quiet for now.
My turn?
Sure.
All right. What I was working on today, something that was discussed in the past recently in the IRC chat room, was about URLs. How do I share my thing?
You go to the side, there's a green button on the left sidebar that's a ScreenShow, the second from the top.
Did I do it?
Yes, we see a site.
Yeah, this is my site. And see, I was changing it, so all my URLs, I was trying to make it based off the guidelines in here in this wiki page. And another thing I can do, I can still go ahead and make my own URLs, like this one here. I've started making this one for all my documentation about Crash, which is my site generator. And that's about all I was working on today.
Oh, almost forgot. Keep forgetting.
I didn't get any applause. God. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, just because you co-organized this event, what I'm going to do is you get a, what do I have here? And there, I think I've covered all the sounds.
About those for the most part.
I think I ran out of sounds. Okay, and then there were two.
Okay, one of you needs to go.
Okay, I wanted to see you flinch first.
I have, unfortunately, not a whole lot to show at the moment, but I've been typing up notes on Micropub like we were talking about in the Micropub session. We talked a lot about doing updates and deleting things from Micropub. So we started from talking about that from what it looks like from the user perspective, interface perspective, comparing what we saw in Google Hangouts and things like that, and trying to derive a protocol and protocol from there. So I'm pretty happy with the conclusions we came to. They will be further fleshed out on the wiki tonight. So yeah, unfortunately I didn't get any coding done, but hopefully it will help everybody else get some coding done, and myself in the future.
Yeah, that's okay. I definitely like how what we worked out today.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I think that deserves slightly less applause. Do you have the option for that?
Put. Only that. That's the closest I have.
Actually, you did some coding because when I had this problem with cross site, you helped me out.
Oh, that's true. Yep. I helped figure out how to get data from webengine.io to work across other domains. So that was good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that project too. That was cool.
Okay, now I've covered everything. I guess that leaves me. Let's see here. I guess it's my turn to share. Well, if you remember from earlier today, I used this particular post as an example of what I was up to. And it doesn't look that different, but all of the back was completely rewritten. And just to demonstrate that, it never played very nicely with other themes, so I'm going to demonstrate it by changing the theme from mine to something called Sempress, which is the most popular theme currently used in IndieWeb. So here I am. If you're wondering, those things do look a bit gigantic, don't they?
A little.
Well, that's why I took a few minutes and figured I'd make sure that if they didn't look good, I could make them smaller. One of the problems is there are certain things that people who are just trying to use a product don't want to go and worry about. One of them being fiddling with sizes in the code, so I reprogrammed it. I also made it possible to remove and take out the built-in reply. Did I hit another option as well? Oh yes, disable. That's probably not an option I want. But I did put in a disable everything option. So everything that overrides anything else can be disabled, and you can go back to the default theme with as little or as much of the default theme as you want. So you can disable each piece of it individually, including the web mention form. And here's the default 2014 theme, which comes with WordPress, and it will also display on there. So rather than getting as far as I wanted to, which is to redesign the appearance of this little face pile, all the back of it is redesigned, which means the next step is to actually change the appearance. So the back will actually work much more fluidly with pretty much any other site.
Very nice.
So next I just have to figure out how to make it look nicer. Bear in mind that if you're not logged in, the word edit will not appear. I may take that out. It's a default option. There it is, back to what it looked like before, and because I made the picture smaller, it's much smaller on this. But again, you have all sorts of little options to play with here. Also, I took a few minutes and tried out an RSVP, which didn't quite work out the way I wanted to, but it allowed me to fix 4 more bugs in 2 other plugins. So I launched the HCard Tools plugin, which is one that I have not actually put up anywhere for anybody to use. And most of what it does is very simple. It's a widget. There it is. Widgets in WordPress make life easier. Now it's down there, and so on and so forth. If I want to get really crazy, it could be up here, up there, what have you. So anybody who wants to embed an HCard into a site, this will pull it based out of their author profile, and it adds in, I have some test profiles here, but it adds in a bunch of extra categories here in the profile, including your telephone number, which I'm not currently displaying, country, Twitter, Google, what have you. So basically a whole bunch of functions you could use should you want to add more things to this. And I'll keep adding more in as soon as I think of a few more.
Cool.
So
definitely be nice to get.
That'll hopefully help a few people who want to just add some minor elements to their existing site.
Right.
I hear somebody talking, but it's a bit low.
Maybe I'll try it on our WordPress. Again, not specifically about the H cards because everybody's trying to stay anonymous, but the the web mentions could be a link between us and the exposed world.
Yeah, mine is mostly display for the plugins that already exist, but in order to get this working the way that I wanted it to, I submitted a bunch of things up to semantic linkbacks, which included a function to get specific types of mentions. Unfortunately, my display here only has one type, so I can't show off how it would display two different types because I haven't bothered to create some test data. But eventually, I changed it from displaying all of them with the like button, displaying likes, mentions, and essentially a row of them. But this test data that I pulled in from my live site only has one type. I suppose let's see if we can find a post that had more than one type. Should have one. Go back a few generations here. Most people seem to like. I don't get enough of the other types. They're much less common. But let's say we were looking at here's an article. I think one of these had a mention on them. So there's a mention. It's in a separate. One of the things that you wouldn't really be able to notice, as I said, because I haven't put in the appearance fully yet, this is actually a mention from somebody who did not supply a picture.
Huh.
And here's one where the person appears to have purged their account from Twitter, which means I don't get their image either. So eventually, I'm going to have the row, which I was inspired by some of the other ones where it was separated. So I rewrote everything so it would be separated. Next step is the visual appearance. So we'll see what happens next, but I think I accomplished something today, hopefully.
I actually realized the other thing is technically, I think if I edit right now, it would delete fields that I blank out, but I'm not totally sure. I haven't even tested that yet. I was just kind of working on that at one point, and I have no idea if it works or not.
You can try it on a post, see what happens.
I suppose. Let's see. Try just edit this one. Edit this. Give it a title. Test title. Some snug. Try adding something in first. Submit. And then so it has a test title. And now I go back to editing that one. Refresh. Should. It's not pulling everything in because I don't have. So already my URL method is actually better than my ID equals. It doesn't pull in the slug. Still didn't pull in the slug. Odd. It might not have edited the slug, but I blank out that field. Submit. And refresh. And I lied, it's still there. Let's just try. That did not work. Okay. So maybe not.
Well, you know what they say. with demos, not everything works when you're waiting for it to work.
Demo is like nothing ever works. You kidding?
I don't know. Everything on mine worked.
Anyway, so I guess that is it for demos.
Yeah, do we have like a summation or a conclusion or?
Go clean your room.
Well, there's one.
I think Dora has the right idea.
Go to bed.
Yeah.
Okay, that may be a good place to end it. This concludes the first IndieWebCamp entirely online. May or may not be the last. We'll see. I suppose that depends on who's interested in another one. Survey cards are, of course, available. You may fill out your comment cards and submit them on the wiki as to whether or not you found this event useful, or whether or not you think we should never have one of these things again and only meet in person. Your opinion is, of course, valuable to us and dictates whether or not this will occur. Those of you who didn't attend, if it looked like it was fun, remember there will be physical events, there may be another online event, and there is always an IRC room available on Freenode, or you can click through from IndieWebCamp.com. Any final words from any person?
No, I think that about sums it up for me.
Okay, well, to those of you watching this years in the future, as this will be permanently archived on YouTube, good night, and hopefully my website is better by now. If you're watching it a few years from now. If you're watching it tomorrow, probably not. And that concludes our day.